In the early seconds of this unexpected disclosure of information, the question haunts: what exactly sparked the Jin family's anger towards BTS fans? Meanwhile, a second jarring piece of news emerged from the other side of the world, where J-Hope's schedule to perform in the United States, specifically at the Brooklyn Mona Lisa, was abruptly cancelled, a decision that appears to be directly related to the controversy surrounding the Jin family and their relationship to fan behavior. The cancellation of the schedule is not just an ordinary change of agenda, but rather an alarm signal to the entire international community about the intensification of internal conflicts, fueling various speculations about whether there is a family dynamic or a deeper conflict of values behind the scenes. With an increasingly emotional tone and full of stinging, questioning rhetoric, this news presents a series of facts and opinions that seem to challenge us to look further, delving into the layers of mystery that have been hidden behind the sparkling spotlight of the K-pop world. In the shadow of BTS's worldwide popularity, the gleaming rays of success often mask the bitter reality hidden behind the scenes of idols' lives. Now, the news of the Jin family's anger is beginning to reveal a fact that has been neatly hidden: a profound contradiction between the family's expectations and the reality built by the expectations of increasingly demanding fans. According to internal information circulating, the reason for the indignation was associated with dissatisfaction with the behavior of some fans who were considered too fanatical and overstepped when voicing their support. This not only caused unrest among families, but also sparked a heated debate among critics and observers of the entertainment industry who wondered, could the excesses of fan happiness turn into an unexpected source of conflict and inner wounds? With a tone full of emotion and rhetoric that arouses sympathy, this news seems to challenge us to reflect, recalling moments when love and admiration turned into an exhausting burden. Meanwhile, the other side of the drama tapers off when J-Hope's schedule in the United States, specifically a much-anticipated performance in the Brooklyn Mona Lisa, is abruptly cancelled. The surprising management decision immediately raised a loud question from fans. Was this cancellation a response to the Jin family's condemnation, or were there other factors that had been hidden and were now beginning to unfold? Speculation grew, linking the decision to BTS's internal dynamics that had been closely guarded by management, but later began to show inevitable cracks. The news caused a wave of uproar on social media, where fans, entertainment journalists, and industry analysts began to question the stability and future of BTS' global agenda. Every detail presented, from the reasons for the cancellation to the spontaneous reactions of the supporting artists, seemed to open a new chapter full of intrigue and puzzles, making the entertainment world stagger by an unprecedented wave of uncertainty. The story doesn't just stop at two major events sticking out on the surface. It also uncovers deeper layers of conflict in the relationship between idols and their fans. On the one hand, the fandom phenomenon known as the driving force of BTS's success has brought with it the great challenge of maintaining the line between sincere support and excessive behavior that can have a negative impact. The Jin family, known for maintaining traditional values and personal integrity, feel increasingly pressured by expectations that exceed normal limits. In an exclusive, undisclosed interview, a close relative revealed that we all never imagined that excessive love for an idol could change family dynamics and inflict deep emotional wounds. This phrase seems to reflect the inner conflict that occurs between them, while revealing the other side of a global phenomenon that has been considered only as love. How can a phenomenon that originally united thousands of hearts actually become a source of opposition that divides togetherness and causes deep unrest? This crisis also did not escape the attention of the international media, who had admired BTS as a global phenomenon. While most of the news previously praised their success, now the shadow of controversy is beginning to undermine the image that has been painstakingly built over the years. Many observers have questioned whether the pressure coming from global expectations has had an unexpected impact on the emotional balance of idols, especially in maintaining relationships with their families. Criticism after criticism began to flow, alleging that an overly glamorous lifestyle and the intensity of a busy schedule can generate internal tensions that undermine the integrity of the family. It is in this context that the cancellation of J-Hope's schedule at the Brooklyn Mona Lisa is considered a reflection of how complex the reality faced by idols is, where seemingly trivial decisions can have a much greater impact than previously thought. A chain reaction began on various social media platforms, with fans divided between sympathy and outrage. On the one hand, there are groups of fans who are on the defensive, trying to explain that every action is based on good intentions and deep love. However, not a few also strongly condemn the excessive behavior that has triggered a rift in the Jin family and put pressure on J-Hope's performance schedule. The atmosphere in cyberspace has turned into an ideological battleground, where every comment and post seems to be a spark that ignites a fierce debate about the line between healthy support and destructive obsession. In the midst of the frenetic debate, a critical question also arises. Have we gone too far in worshiping idols to forget the values of humanity and togetherness that should be the basis of every relationship? This tense atmosphere creates an almost irresistible aura, making anyone who sees it feel trapped in a whirlpool of conflict that continues to spin endlessly. In this horrendous case, layers upon layers of conflict begin to unfold as previously hidden information is revealed. Internal sources close to the Jin family said that the pressure felt came not only from the behavior of a handful of fans, but also from the high expectations built by the media and the entertainment industry. They feel that often, the perfect image presented to the public hides the reality that behind a smile and a sparkling stage, there is inevitable emotional stress and internal conflict. In such a situation, the decision to cancel J-Hope's scheduled performance in the US is not something to be taken lightly, but rather as a form of response to an increasingly uncontrollable dynamic. Every decision made, every announcement made, seems to be a puzzle piece in the big picture of how the modern entertainment world has to adapt to the changing demands of the times. Behind such a complex controversy, the role of BTS's management and support team was in the spotlight. Many began to question whether the strategy implemented so far has been too focused on commercial achievement and popularity, thus neglecting the humanitarian aspects and well-being of the idols. In various online discussions and forums, the argument arises that the pressure to always look perfect and meet a tight schedule can lead to an imbalance that leads to inevitable internal conflicts. The criticism was further strengthened when it was linked to the incident that befell the Jin family and the cancellation of J-Hope's performance. Behind all that, a fundamental question again arises. Is the entertainment world, especially one focused on K-pop, ready to face the consequences of a system that demands relentless perfection? In this context, the ongoing controversy is not just a momentary incident, but a mirror of the paradigm shift that must be made immediately so that all parties can feel the positive impact of sincere love and support without having in the midst of an increasingly heated stream of opinions. Responses from artists and entertainment industry figures began to arrive. Some of them call for a pause to reflect and re-evaluate life priorities, especially for idols who have been caught in a vortex of ever-increasing expectations and pressures. They emphasize that true popularity must be balanced with wisdom in managing emotions and relationships with family, which is the foundation of any success. Even so, there are not a few who question whether it is too late to make improvements, given the wounds that have begun to open up and the reputation that has been built over the years is beginning to be threatened by an increasingly deep controversy. This discussion raises an evocative rhetorical question. Do traditional values and family warmth still have a place in an increasingly modern and commercialized world? It is this question that is now at the center of attention, inviting various speculations and in-depth analysis among observers and practitioners of the entertainment industry. Behind every step and decision taken, there are also personal stories full of tears and sacrifices. The Jin family, long known as a symbol of warmth and wholeness, must now face the harsh reality that global popularity can erode the line between private life and public expectations. In a confidential interview obtained by internal media, a family member revealed that, "We are all devastated to see how an initially sincere love turns into a pressing and painful burden." This heartfelt expression expresses the depth of the wounds left by behavior that is considered excessive, causing an impact that is not only personal, but also touches the entire community of fans who have felt a close emotional connection with their idols.